What if your body already knows that money is coming before it arrives in your hands? Not as a metaphor, not as wishful thinking, but as a literal physical signal encoded in your nervous system, your gut, your skin. That abundance is shifting in your direction right now. Type, "I am ready to receive" in the comments below if you've ever felt something was about to change in your life, but you just couldn't explain why. Go ahead. Type it. Because what you're about to discover might finally give language to something you've been feeling for a very long time. Here's what nobody tells you about money. The ancient ones, the tantric sages of India, the mystery school initiators of Egypt, the Taoist masters of the East, they never spoke about wealth as something outside of you. They spoke about it as something that flows through you, like water through a river, like breath through lungs. And just like your body signals you when you're getting sick, it also signals you when an energetic channel is opening. But most people miss these signals entirely. They're too busy checking their bank accounts, refreshing their emails, waiting for external proof. Meanwhile, their own body is whispering, sometimes shouting, that something is shifting. And if you've been feeling a strange restlessness lately, a tingling you can't explain, a sudden surge of warmth in your lower belly for no apparent reason, you are not imagining things. These are what the ancient traditions called sacral signals, physical manifestations that the second energy center, the seat of creation, desire, and flow, is awakening and aligning with the frequency of abundance. In this video, we are going to reveal 3 specific physical signs that your money flow is genuinely opening. Signs rooted in thousands of years of esoteric wisdom, now being quietly validated by modern science. We'll explore where these signs come from, what they actually mean on an energetic level, and most importantly, how to amplify them so the channel stays open. If this video finds even one thing resonating deeply within you, and I promise it will, do me one favor right now. Hit that like button. Not just to support this channel, but as your first act of intentional energy exchange today. Because in the world of sacred economics, even that small gesture trains your nervous system to say yes to flow, yes to receiving, yes to more. Now, let's begin. Thousands of years before Wall Street existed, before banks, before currencies, before the modern world built its elaborate systems of exchange, ancient civilizations understood something about wealth that we have almost entirely forgotten. They understood that abundance is not a number, it is not a destination, it is a state of being, one that exists first in the invisible world of energy and only then manifests in the visible world of matter. The ancient Egyptians had a concept they called Ka, the vital life force that animated every human being. They believed that when a person's Ka was strong, flowing, and unobstructed, prosperity followed them like a shadow follows a body in sunlight. But when the Ka was blocked, choked by fear, grief, or stagnation, even the wealthiest person would slowly begin to lose everything. Not because of bad luck, but because the inner river had stopped flowing. Across the world, in the ancient Indus Valley civilization, the sages were developing what would eventually become the science of chakras, the 7 spinning energy centers that govern every aspect of human life. And nestled just below your navel, glowing like an amber flame, sits the Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra. In Sanskrit, its name translates to the dwelling place of the self. This was not considered merely a spiritual concept. It was considered the engine of creation itself. The tantric texts, some of the oldest and most profoundly misunderstood documents in human history, described the sacral center as the gateway through which all earthly manifestation flows. Creativity, sensuality, desire, and yes, money. Because in the ancient understanding, money is simply crystallized creative energy. It is desire given physical form. It is the universe saying yes to your flow. The great Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu wrote in the Tao Te Ching that the sage does not chase water. The sage becomes the valley, and water flows to them naturally. This was not poetry for decoration. This was a precise, technical instruction about how abundance operates. It does not come to those who grasp and strain. It flows to those who have removed the obstacles within. And here is where it gets extraordinary. The ancient Mayan civilization, completely isolated from the Eastern traditions, arrived at a remarkably similar conclusion. Their sacred calendar, the Tzolk'in, was built around the understanding that human beings move through predictable energy cycles, and that during certain phases of these cycles, the channels between the invisible world of potential and the visible world of form become thin, permeable, almost transparent. During these windows, the ancients taught, what you plant in the inner world grows almost instantly in the outer world. In medieval Europe, the alchemists, those mysterious figures hunched over their furnaces, speaking in riddles, were not actually trying to turn lead into gold. That was the surface story, the exoteric version told to outsiders. The real work, the esoteric work, was internal. They were attempting to transmute the lead of a blocked, fearful, constricted consciousness into the gold of an open, flowing, receptive state of being. The philosopher's stone they sought was not a mineral, it was a condition of the body and soul. And across all of these traditions, Egyptian, Indian, Chinese, Mayan, European, one truth emerges with stunning consistency. The body is the first to know. Before your outer world changes, your inner world shifts. And before your inner world shifts, your body sends signals, physical, tangible, undeniable signals that the ancient ones cataloged, studied, and passed down through generations of initiates, whispered in mystery schools, encoded in sacred texts, hidden in plain sight for those with eyes trained to see. These are not myths. These are not superstitions. These are observations so old and so consistent across so many unconnected cultures that to dismiss them would be, frankly, the less rational choice. And right now, in this very moment, your body may be sending you exactly these signals. The question is, do you know how to read them? Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body when abundance begins to move in your direction. Not symbolically, not poetically, but physically, tangibly, in the very cells and nerves and organs that make up this extraordinary instrument you live inside of every single day. Because here is the truth that will change how you see everything from this moment forward. Your body is not separate from your energy field. It is the densest expression of it. Every shift in your energetic state eventually registers as a physical sensation. Every opening in your flow leaves a fingerprint in your flesh. And the ancients knew exactly what those fingerprints looked like. The first sign, the heat in the lower belly. Have you ever experienced a sudden, unexplained warmth radiating from just below your navel? Not hunger, not discomfort. Something almost like a gentle fire being lit in the core of your body, spreading outward in slow, rolling waves. Most people dismiss this entirely. They drink a glass of water, shift in their seat, and move on with their day. But in doing so, they walk right past one of the most significant signals their body can produce. In Ayurvedic medicine, the 5,000-year-old healing science of ancient India, this region of the body is called the home of Agni, the sacred fire, the digestive flame that doesn't just process food, but processes experience, emotion, and energy. When Agni strengthens and flares upward from the sacral region, the ancient physicians documented something remarkable. Their patients would simultaneously begin reporting improvements in their material circumstances, new opportunities appearing, financial tensions dissolving, resources arriving from unexpected directions. They didn't call this coincidence. They called it consequence. The sacral chakra governs water energy, flow, movement, the effortless current of life. But beneath the water, hidden in the deep, there is always fire. And when that fire ignites, it evaporates stagnation. It burns through the energetic debris of old money wounds, inherited scarcity beliefs, and years of financial anxiety that have been stored, quite literally stored, as tension in the tissues of your lower abdomen. Think of it this way. Imagine a river that has been dammed for years. Leaves, mud, broken branches, all of it piling up, slowing the current to a trickle. Now imagine someone lights a fire at the base of that dam. The heat begins to loosen everything. The debris shifts, and slowly, powerfully, inevitably, the river starts to move again. That warmth in your belly, that is the fire meeting the dam. Modern science, interestingly, is beginning to catch up. Researchers studying the enteric nervous system, the vast network of over 500 million neurons lining your gut, have discovered that this system is so sophisticated, so independent, and so emotionally responsive that they now call it the second brain. And this second brain, located precisely where the sacral chakra resides, doesn't just respond to physical stimuli. It responds to emotional shifts, energetic changes, and subconscious reprogramming. When your nervous system begins to relax its grip around old financial trauma, the gut registers this shift first, as warmth, as softness, as a kind of inner melting. So the next time you feel that unexplained heat rising in your lower belly, pause. Don't dismiss it. Place your hand gently over that area, breathe into it, and silently acknowledge something is opening. The second sign, sudden vivid dreams involving water. Water, in virtually every ancient tradition on Earth, is the universal symbol of flow, abundance, and the unconscious movement of energy. The ancient Egyptians believed the Nile was not merely a river, it was the breath of the divine, the visible expression of an invisible generosity flowing from realms beyond human comprehension. When the Nile flooded its banks and left rich, dark silt across the fields, it was understood as the universe itself depositing gifts upon the earth. And in the dream world, that mysterious threshold between the seen and unseen, water carries this same ancient message. When your money flow is genuinely beginning to open at an energetic level, the subconscious mind begins to process this shift through the language it knows best: symbols. And one of the most consistent symbols reported across cultures, across centuries, across countless traditions of dream interpretation, is the sudden appearance of vivid, emotionally charged water imagery in dreams. Not nightmares of drowning, not anxious floods of chaos, but clear water, moving water. Water that feels generous, expansive, almost alive with intelligence, rivers widening as you walk beside them, oceans that are calm and warm and seem to stretch forever. Rain that feels like a blessing rather than a burden. The Jungian psychologists, those modern inheritors of ancient symbolic wisdom, documented this pattern exhaustively. Water in dreams, particularly water that is flowing cleanly and moving freely, consistently correlates with a loosening of unconscious resistance, a releasing of the inner grip, a subconscious yes being spoken in the language of the deep mind. And here is the part that makes this truly extraordinary. These dreams often arrive before any outer evidence appears, before the unexpected check, before the new client, before the opportunity that seems to come from nowhere. The dream comes first, because the energetic shift happens first. And your dreaming mind, far more sensitive than your waking mind, picks up the signal before your bank account does. So pay attention. When was the last time you dreamed of water? And how did it feel? We've explored the sacred fire awakening in your belly. We've walked through the dreaming waters of your subconscious, sending you messages before your waking mind even realizes what's shifting. Now we arrive at the third sign. And in many ways, it is the most subtle, the most overlooked, and perhaps the most profound of them all. But before we reveal it, I want you to notice something right now. Notice how you're feeling as you watch this video. Is there a quiet excitement sitting in your chest? A sense of recognition, like something you already knew is finally being spoken out loud? That feeling, that resonance, is itself a signal, your body responding to truth. Hold on to that feeling, because what comes next is going to deepen it considerably. The third sign, unexplained tingling or pulsing in the hands. Your hands are not simply tools. They are not just instruments for typing, for carrying, for building. In virtually every esoteric tradition that has ever existed on this earth, the hands are considered sacred antennae, receivers and transmitters of life force energy, positioned at the ends of energetic pathways that run directly from the heart center through the arms and out into the world. In the ancient Chinese system of meridian medicine, a system so precise and so effective that it has survived completely intact for over 3,000 years, there are 6 primary meridian channels that run through the hands. These channels are direct extensions of the organ systems governing the heart, the lungs, the small intestine, the large intestine, the pericardium, and the triple warmer. And when the body's overall energy field begins to expand and open, when the inner river begins to flow more freely, these meridians are among the first pathways to activate. The result? A tingling, a pulsing, sometimes a warmth, sometimes almost an electrical buzzing, as if your hands have suddenly become more alive than usual, as if they are waking up from a long sleep. Most people notice this during meditation. Some notice it just before falling asleep. Others report it happening spontaneously, sitting at their desk, walking through a grocery store, standing in the shower. A sudden, inexplicable aliveness in their palms and fingertips that lasts anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes. And here is the ancient interpretation of this sign that will stop you completely in your tracks. In the Hermetic tradition, that extraordinary synthesis of Egyptian and Greek esoteric wisdom that quietly shaped the entire Western spiritual lineage, the hands were called the instruments of manifestation. They were understood as the physical bridge between intention and reality, between the invisible world of desire and the visible world of form. And when a student of the Hermetic arts began to feel spontaneous activation in their hands, without any deliberate practice, without any ritual or ceremony, their teachers recognized it as a definitive signal. They called it the opening of the channel. The belief was this: abundance does not arrive in your life like a package dropped at your door. It flows through you first. It moves through your energy field, through your body, through your hands, and then it appears in physical form in your outer world. The hands tingle because they are literally feeling the current before it fully arrives, like the way you can feel the electricity in the air before lightning strikes, like the way a riverbank feels the surge of water before the flood reaches a full capacity. You're feeling tomorrow's abundance in today's hands. Now, there is a nuance here that most teachers skip entirely, and it is critically important. Not all tingling in the hands carries this meaning. There is a specific quality to this signal that distinguishes it from ordinary physical sensation. The tingling associated with money flow opening tends to feel expansive rather than contracted. It moves outward from the center of the palm rather than inward from the fingertips. It is accompanied, almost always, by a subtle but unmistakable sense of well-being, of rightness, as if something invisible but enormously significant has just clicked into place. This is not anxiety. This is not tension. This is the body in a state of receptive expansion. And the difference between those two states, between contracted anxiety and expansive receptivity, is ultimately the difference between a life of scarcity and a life of flow. Now, let's zoom out for a moment and look at all three signs together. Because when you understand how they work as a system, something extraordinary becomes visible. The belly heat awakens first, deep in the core, in the ancient seat of creation and desire. It burns through the old, dissolves the stagnant, clears the path. Think of this as the preparation phase. The universe clearing the channel before the current arrives. Then the water dreams begin, the subconscious mind beginning to speak a new language, no longer the language of lack and anxiety and endless striving, but the language of flow, of ease, of an inner world quietly reorganizing itself around a new and more abundant reality. This is the alignment phase, the deeper layers of your consciousness catching up to the energetic shift already underway. And finally, the hands begin to pulse. The body's most forward-facing instruments, its most active expressions of engagement with the physical world, begin to feel the current that is moving toward you. This is the arrival phase, the signal that what began as pure energy is now close enough to the physical realm that your physical body can literally feel it approaching. 3 signs, 3 phases, one continuous, elegant, ancient process that your body has been designed, from the very beginning, to experience and to communicate. The ancient initiates did not call this magic. They called it mechanics. The natural, inevitable mechanics of an energy system working exactly as it was designed to work. And the reason most people never experience it, the reason most people live their entire lives without once feeling these signals clearly, is not because they lack the ability. It is because they have never been taught to listen. They have been taught to look outward for evidence of abundance, at bank statements, at job titles, at the size of their homes and the make of their cars. And in doing so, they completely miss the conversation their own body is trying to have with them. Every single day. But you, right now in this moment, you are learning to listen differently. And that changes everything. Knowledge without practice is like a river without banks. Beautiful to contemplate, impossible to direct. So right now, we are going to take everything you have learned, every ancient insight, every physical signal, every layer of this profound understanding, and we are going to give you something concrete to do with it. Because the ancient masters were never satisfied with theory alone. They were practitioners, and they would tell you, have always told those willing to listen, that the difference between a person who understands abundance and a person who lives it comes down to one thing: daily, intentional, embodied practice. Here is your 3-part practice, one technique for each sign, designed to be simple enough to do every single day, yet deep enough to genuinely shift the energetic landscape of your life. Practice 1, the Agni activation. for the belly heat. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you speak a single word, before the world rushes in and fills every available space with its noise and demands, do this. Lie flat on your back or sit comfortably upright. Place both hands, one on top of the other, directly over your navel. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow, deep breaths, breathing not into your chest, but deliberately, consciously down into your belly. Feel your hands rise and fall with each breath. Now, on your 4th breath, as you inhale, imagine a small amber flame igniting just behind your navel. Warm, steady, ancient, as if it has always been there, waiting for you to acknowledge it. As you exhale, imagine that flame growing slightly larger, slightly brighter, radiating outward in gentle waves of golden warmth through your entire lower abdomen. Do this for just 5 minutes. That is all. 5 minutes of conscious, intentional communion with the sacred fire your body already carries. What you are doing on an energetic level is profound. You are sending a signal through focused attention, through breath, through the simple act of showing up, that you are aware of this channel, that you are tending to it. And energy, in every tradition that has ever studied it, responds to attention the way a fire responds to oxygen. It grows. Practice 2. The water blessing. For the dream signals. Every night, in the final 10 minutes before sleep, the threshold time when your conscious mind is loosening its grip and your subconscious is beginning to rise. Perform what the ancient Egyptians called a blessing of the waters. Fill a small glass or bowl with clean water. Hold it in both hands. Look at it, really look at it, and speak to it, either aloud or silently, with genuine feeling and clear intention. Say something like this: I am open, I am flowing, I receive abundantly and gratefully. As this water moves freely, so does prosperity move freely through my life. Then drink the water slowly, consciously, feeling it move through you as a physical act of receiving, of allowing something nourishing and life-giving to enter your body without resistance. This practice may seem almost startlingly simple, but consider what you are actually doing. You are programming your final conscious thoughts of the day around the frequency of flow and receptivity. You are giving your subconscious mind, which will be intensely active for the next several hours, a clear and emotionally resonant instruction about what to process, what to rehearse, what to build in the invisible architecture of your inner world. The dreams that follow will often surprise you. Write them down immediately upon waking, even fragments, even feelings without images. You are learning a new language, the language your deeper self speaks, and every word matters. This practice comes directly from the Tantric tradition, and it is breathtakingly simple. At any point during your day, while sitting, while waiting, while taking a quiet moment, turn your palms upward. That's it. Palms facing the sky, fingers gently relaxed and slightly curved, hands resting softly on your thighs or at your sides. But here is what transforms this simple gesture into a genuine energetic practice, the intention behind it. As you turn your palms upward, consciously and deliberately shift your internal posture from reaching to receiving, from grasping to welcoming, from the tight, anxious energy of someone trying to force abundance to arrive, to the open, relaxed, almost luminous energy of someone who knows, with quiet certainty, that it is already on its way. Hold this position for as little as 3 minutes. Breathe naturally. And if you feel that tingling, that pulsing, that aliveness beginning to stir in your palms, do not dismiss it. Lean into it. Breathe into it. Let it spread up through your wrists, your forearms, your shoulders, all the way into your chest. You are feeling the current. You are feeling the flow. And every time you practice this, every single time you consciously choose receptivity over grasping, you are retraining your entire nervous system at a cellular level. You are telling your body, your subconscious, and the vast intelligent field of energy that surrounds you one simple, revolutionary thing. I am ready. I am open. I receive. One final note on overcoming the greatest obstacle you will face in this practice, and that obstacle is doubt. The voice that says this is too simple, that real abundance requires struggle, that you don't deserve to receive easily. That voice is not wisdom. That voice is the dam. That voice is precisely what these practices are designed to dissolve, gently, consistently, one breath at a time. The ancient masters did not fight their doubts. They simply practiced around them, day after day, until one morning, without fanfare, without drama, the doubt was simply gone, and the river was flowing. Your only job is to begin. We have traveled a long way together in this video, from the sacred temples of ancient Egypt to the mystery schools of Hermetic wisdom, from the tantric sages mapping the fires of the human body to the Taoist masters watching water find its way without effort or force. From 5,000 years of accumulated esoteric knowledge to the very real, very physical sensations happening inside your body right now. And what has emerged from all of that, from all of those centuries, all of those traditions, all of those extraordinary human beings who dedicated their lives to understanding the invisible mechanics of abundance, is something almost shockingly simple. Your body already knows the way. It has always known. The warmth in your belly is not random. The water flowing through your dreams is not accidental. The aliveness pulsing in your hands is not your imagination playing tricks. These are signals from the deepest intelligence you possess, an intelligence older than your thoughts, wiser than your fears, and infinitely more aligned with abundance than any strategy, any hustle, any desperate reaching toward a future you're convinced is just out of grasp. The sacral center, that ancient, amber-glowing seat of creation within you, is not broken. It has never been broken. It has simply been waiting for you to stop looking exclusively outward, waiting for you to turn your attention inward, downward, homeward, to the place where all true prosperity is born before it ever appears in the physical world. So here is what I want to leave you with. Not as a concept to intellectually file away, but as a living question to carry with you, into your morning, into your evening, into the quiet spaces between your thoughts. What if abundance is not something you have to chase, but something you have to become available to receive? What if the entire journey is not about doing more, forcing more, achieving more, but about removing, layer by layer, everything inside you that has been blocking the river that was always, always trying to flow? Start tonight. Try the water blessing. Turn your palms upward tomorrow morning. Tend to the sacred fire in your belly with 5 minutes of conscious breath. These are not grand gestures. They are not complicated rituals requiring years of study. They are small daily acts of radical availability, of telling the universe, with your body, not just your words, I am here, I am open, I am ready. And if this video has stirred something in you, if even one moment landed like a truth you had forgotten rather than a fact you had never known, then please, share it. With someone who is struggling, with someone who has forgotten their own flow, with someone who needs to be reminded that their body is not their enemy, in this journey. It is their greatest guide. Like this video if it has opened something in you today. Leave a comment below telling me, which of the 3 signs have you already been experiencing without realizing what it meant? I read every single one. And subscribe, because what we are building here together, this community of people learning to listen to the ancient wisdom already living inside them, is only just beginning. The river is moving. Can you feel it?